Welcome to another episode of Under the Rug Podcast. Make sure you follow the podcast at UTR The Podcast. That's your favorite podcast, the only relevant podcast, the only one that matters. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe on YouTube too. Make sure you like, comment, share. Check out the other episodes. I'm your co-host Cam at CK3 The Thrill in the social media world.
You feel me? It's your boy Frankie Lama, a.k.a. Honorable Tino, a.k.a. Mr. Moneybags, a.k.a. me. You feel me? We out here doing the thing, you know what I'm saying? And doing the thing I do.
Man, you a fool, bro. At Honorable Tino.
At Honorable Tino.
On the
and
social
make
media
sure
world.
that you follow the podcast.
Please follow the podcast and share the videos.
The
you know what I'm saying? We just trying to get some messages out there.
Exactly.
What we talking about today?
Today, we're going a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? Today's episode is going to be, is it a generational curse or a crutch?
Is it a generational curse?
Because I feel like, and the
crutch?
reason I feel like this is going to be a really good topic is just because
it's a lot of different ways we can go with this one.
Yes, and I feel like we live in an age where, of course, like mental health is definitely something important.
100%.
But I feel like this is the best era ever to be lazy. Because we can intellectualize our feelings, we can over medicalize ourselves.
It's something that's always justifying it.
You know what I'm saying? I can be like, I don't want to come to work today because I'm depressed.
Right.
Or I don't want to do this because of my anxiety, this, that, or the other. And we know so much wrong with ourselves, anxious attachments to so many online therapists and whatnot, to the point where we're paralyzed as a people. And then also, like I said, there is multiple sides to this.
Right. But I think, you know what I'm saying, everything has a root cause. So I will say that it's a generational curse that can turn into a crutch. And so let's look at the stereotype that black people can't swim, for instance.
Yeah.
I'm about to drop some knowledge, probably teach you something that you didn't know.
Do we got the book of facts?
I ain't got the book of facts with me today, but this is coming from the book of facts, you know what I'm saying? So in like 2019, USA Today did a study. It said that 64% of black children can't swim. 64%. And you know what I'm saying? I'm in the Navy, Naval Academy, so I know all about the swimming struggle. Thought I knew how to swim, went to the Naval Academy. They was like, hey, we need you to get in here and swim 400 meters. And I'm in there about to drown. And I'm like, I can't float. I'm black, you know what I'm saying? They want me to get in the water and dead man float for 30 minutes. I'm like, I can't do that. My body won't do that, you know? And so I did some research, and the first pools were created in like the 1900s, you know what I'm saying? The early 1900s, the first community pools. These pools were put in the Northeast in the major cities like New York, Boston, Philly, right? These were public pools, but they were mainly put in the rural neighborhoods. Yeah. And honestly, they were designed to be like a big bathtub. And so it's like a big bathtub. A lot of poor people would use these pools.
It sounds like some white people say.
They would use these pools and they would be naked in the pools. And because of this, the pools, women really wouldn't be allowed to get in these pools. You know what I'm saying? Because it'd be naked men and stuff like that. Well, after the First World War, World War I, people were making more money in America and they were working less. And so they had more time for leisure activities such as swimming. And so with that being said, more pools were created. However, like I said, the first public pools were large in rural areas. Like people were in there naked because they used them as bathtubs. White women weren't getting in those pools. And so what happened was, because of that, they segregated the pools because they didn't want black men to be with white women in these pools in a social setting. They said it was not allowed. They said it was uncomfortable. And so now after the World War I, we start seeing a lot of these pools being created that were segregated. And so now black people didn't really have access to pools like that until we start going with the civil rights movement, and Martin Luther King went down there in Florida. It was one of the major protests down there. Can't remember the specific cities, but now you're looking at a period from around 1920 to late 1960s to where black people didn't have access to these pools, right? And so now it's like, okay, we don't know how to swim. And so you got to think about those parents that were brought up in that era. They didn't swim. So you thinking they going to teach their kids how to swim? No. And so what happens with the next generation? They don't teach their kids how to swim. And so now we're looking at a generational curse become a generational crutch because it's like, oh yeah, I don't know how to swim. My parents don't know how to swim. Nobody ever taught me. But instead of actually getting out there and learning how to swim, we use that curse as a crutch as to why we can't swim. And so it definitely starts off as a curse, but I think it gets to the point to where it's up to you on whether or not you decided to be a crutch.
Shout out to Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying? Took him to Florida. And in the name of freedom, you gonna slice that joint? But no, that was a good night. I wish we had the Book of Facts.
I wish we did have the Book of Facts because it is a curse, right? I don't want people to think that there isn't a root cause to a lot of the stuff that we see in the black community.
You talked you've talked about in episodes the victim mentality.
Oh yeah.
People definitely use things as a crush, but honestly, me myself,
do you know how to swim, cuz?
I know how to swim. I think I know how to swim. I know how to do the backstroke and whatnot. But if you tell me to float for 20 minutes,
if I drop you in the ocean, bro, you gotta swim. I ain't gonna even say a mile. You gotta swim half a mile to shore.
I'm gonna keep it a bean with you.
Are you gonna make it?
So do it. I can backstroke. Like just cause my
So the answer is he does not know how to swim. He over here talking about backstroke. You can't freestyle. If you can't freestyle, you can't swim.
No, I feel the reason I say that
because people be like, I can swim underwater.
My dad was in the Navy, and like he used to tell me like to rest. They used to backstroke.
Yeah, for sure. And but eventually, you gotta flip over and swim.
Flip over and swim. I think that's the part I'm a struggle with.
So yeah, you can't swim.
I can't swim.
But it's all right though. What was you about to say?
I was gonna say I do feel like especially when people talk about the victim mentality, I always think to this analogy. You always hear like the Jay-Z's, the P. Diddy's, the Dame Dashes of the world, talking about, there's no racism, you know what I'm saying, just hustle and grind and whatnot. And a lot of the times I feel like the only people I ever hear who say that, it's not that much of a big deal. Like, especially people who be like racism isn't real. It's always two factors. They're either rich or grew up like in a white community, and so they're essentially like let me use a politically correct term, a dwarf on stilts, telling all the other short people that it's not that hard being short.
But do you not feel like since you said a lot of them come from the good upbringings, but bro. Steve Harvey, you know what I'm saying? Homeless, grew up homeless. Oprah Winfrey grew up homeless, grew up abused and things like that. Do you not think that they should be that model example? Do you not think that everybody has the capability? Okay, let me ask you that. Do you think everybody has the capability to be successful?
I believe every person on this earth has the ability to achieve what they feel in their heart will be success.
Okay. So I think what holds is, I'm going to speak for the black community. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do on the podcast. I can't speak for the other side too much, but as a black community, I feel like we're not able to reach that train of thought to where everybody understands that they do have the capability to be successful because we use generational curses as a crutch. Mm-hmm. It's like you were saying at the beginning of the episode, we want to have a reason to justify why we feel what we feel. And so when I don't get a good grade on a test, it's because I don't have access to the materials because I wasn't raised the same way they were raised. Like their parents were in there, and I'm not talking for me, I'm talking a general sense. Right. Their parents were in there helping them study. Their parents got their doctorate from Harvard University and Columbia University, and they've all been to school, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, if I get a good chance to go to college, I'm the first generation college student, right? Mm-hmm. And so instead of seeing that as an opportunity for me to create a new life for the next generations in my family, it's like, nah, I can't go to college because nobody in my family went to college, and I'm going to use that generational curse as a crutch instead of breaking through it. And so I think we got to flip that mindset. Here's my thing,
because you have like, you know what I'm saying, Steve Harvey, didn't he get famous till what, he was like 45? Like he was.
Yeah, I don't even know.
You know what I'm saying? When he was on the Kings of Comedy joint, he was old by then. Like that man was old. When he was on the Steve Harvey show, that man was like 50. Like he was old him up.
Yeah.
But my thing with, black people and these conversations about coming from the mud is that, one, there isn't a lot of vulnerability in that. People often link, like most of their confidence comes from the success and money that they have now.
Facts.
And two, I really feel like black people, we've talked about this on another episode, a lot of our culture just comes from slavery. It comes from surviving. So people talk about grinding.
Why you say slavery and surviving like that?
Oh, I like people be out here. People be you a rich slave.
The survival mindset.
Because people be like Steve Harvey. One of the things he champions is, if you're trying to be rich, you shouldn't be out here sleeping. Like,
so yeah, I get it. I do have an issue with that. Because it's like, why not?
You know? And then you have someone like Oprah Winfrey. While you know what I'm saying, shout out the OWN network and all that. I truly feel like it is unethical to be a multi-billionaire. There's no way to be a good person and be a multi-billionaire.
So, okay, I disagree, right? Because I think your gift will make room for you. And if you have good character, like, you will get blessed abundantly, especially when you follow the Almighty and the man upstairs. That's the way he operates, right? Now, what you choose to do with that money is where the issue can lie. Now, I'm not in her pockets. I'm not in her bank account statements. I don't know where she's putting her money. But I never really knock somebody for making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you do receive that money, I think you should be pushing it out and building, like, especially, I look at Memphis, bruh, and I look at all these schools that we have. It's no reason, with people who have came out the city, there's no reason we shouldn't be putting more money into our school system to rebuild these schools. Because we talk a lot about, like, the culture and how Memphis, the youth, they're struggling. Well, if you walk into some of these high schools and you look at how some of these classrooms look, you look at how some of these books look, we don't even promote a healthy environment to learn. And then you wonder why kids aren't reading at the level that they need to be reading at, because the books that they're reading, half the page is torn out. I'm not picking that book up. But if you give a kid a brand new book, they're gonna take pride in that book. They're gonna treat that book with care. But we're not putting the money into the school system. And if I had the money, I would. But I'm broke than a joke. So I don't want people to be like, why you ain't spending no money?
We could have a whole conversation, like a whole episode about how Memphis City schools, or Shelby County now, is evil. And what the things that they've done. Like, I could literally talk about this for an hour. But the reason I'm not saying that it's unethical to be a multi-billionaire, because I think you should give it away. But there literally is no ethical. Like, you have to cheat on your taxes. You have to lie. You have to embellish. You have to, you know what I'm saying, be like, oh, these are unearned gains.
Is that cheating, or is that learning the system? Because I feel like that's just what, to be frank, I feel like that's what white people do. They know the system.
And this is my thing with that, and which I always talk about. I only talk about black people on this podcast. I don't use white people as my moral compass.
I agree.
Like, and I remember we talked about this on an episode where when we were supposed to get integrated, we got tokenism. So we were able to, you know what I'm saying, be around them as long as we get a certain amount of money and we act a certain way.
Facts.
And so you look at someone like a Jeff Bezos who pays.
I don't even think he's white though.
Jeff Bezos?
I don't think so.
He looks white.
He ain't black. He ain't black though.
He light skin. If you light skin and bald, you got it made. You biracial at the lowest. I don't care if you came from Nigeria. You light skin and bald, you can go for anything. But the reason I say that is, like, say for instance, I understand, like, somebody might come and, you know what I'm saying, be the technical police about, like, Jeff Bezos paying $0 in property tax. And you say that's just the system. That's just, you know, a good money move. But at the end of the day, say for instance, like right now, I live by myself. I ain't got no kids. I'm able to make a livable wage. I'm going to have to pay $1,000, $2,000 in taxes when tax season come around.
Yeah, me too. And I'm dreading it.
But you have people with billions
ain't paying a dime in tax.
Pay zero taxes.
So I think,
and the reason I bring that up, because when we talk about is it a generational curse or is it a crutch, I truly feel like whether it be mental health issues, whether it be drug abuse, whether it be alcohol abuse, whether it be, you know, generational brokenness, there is no way for certain things to not put you on crutches just because of the system we have in place. Like, say for instance, if I am you know what I'm saying, I'm a father, I got my kids and whatnot, I can't just go work at the mill and make a livable wage and be able to do what I need to do for my family. So one of these little Negroes is going to go sell crack. You know what I'm saying? You look at property values for black people. Since, I believe, I don't know the exact, since Negroes have been able to get property. our property has been devalued by $156 billion. And then when people come to our communities and think to build stuff, they don't look at the two old uncles over here playing chess on a milk crate and think, what if we put a space right here on this block for them to play chess? They think, I know what will make the community nice. Let's put a Starbucks right here. You feel me? Let's put this factory right here. Facts. And you can look at it right now in Mason, Tennessee, where they're building Ford, and Ford is taking control of the money Facts. Of this, majority black town. And so it's impossible for certain things to not be a crutch just because of the culture in which we live. And like I said, I believe I don't care if you were born and you ain't had 2 pennies to rub together. You can become something in America.
Right.
But I truly do believe that we have put ourselves into a culture of, that grind culture. And what does it mean to grind? Grind means to wear down. So in order for you and me to be anything, we have to wear ourselves down. And it doesn't even have to be, of course, if you want to get $1 million, you have to put some work in. But let's say, I'm good at my job. I work at FedEx.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're not going to give me a livable wage. They're not going to give me fair medical. They're not going to give me a fair pension plan. And they're going to work me so much that I'm not able to see my family the way I need to. And just to bring it all back to, is it a generational curse or is it a crutch? I truly think that, we can be as, successful as we want to be.
Yeah.
Certain things when you come up, they're going to be a crutch, especially when it's not, when no one's doing anything to help you.
Right.
No one's even thinking to.
So I'm going to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to disagree strongly because I will say perception is what's causing that. Right. I think the way you perceive the things in the world is how they affect you. Mm-hmm. And so if I look at the fact that I got $0 in my bank account, right, as a way that I'm not capable of doing anything, then what's going to happen? I'm not going to be capable. And so I understand what you're saying, and the grind mentality gets a negative connotation. I hear you, but I've never heard anybody complain about putting the work in and getting the results, right? The only people I hear complain are the ones who don't get the results, but they don't put no work in. Right. And so I think if you truly want to be successful, if you want to be a part of that top 10%, nobody in that top 10% got there doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. Nobody. And it's easy to look at the success. I think in society today, we've lost the value of hard work because all we put on TV is the success. He got this money. Oh, he got this business. Oh, he got that company. But nobody wants to get behind the scenes. We study everybody like Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Edison. We look at all these people who came from nothing. Even the Rockefeller, when he was getting his oil company started, we read all those stories about how they come from nothing and they're able to create these generations of wealth. But we really don't emphasize enough on the fact that these people came from nothing. They put the work on. Now, I know these people are white. I understand that these people are white, but the principle is still the same. Yeah. The principle of them not thinking the same as everybody else and putting the time into it. I truly think if you commit to it and you have passion and you have purpose for it, then you're going to reap the results. But the results may not be $1 million. That's what you also got to understand. Mm-hmm. Everybody's not going to be rich. Now, it's enough money out there for if you want it, you can go get it, but everybody's not going to be rich. We got to stop putting too much emphasis on being rich, and we got to put more emphasis on being purposeful with our lives because our life is temporary. At the end of the day, it's temporary. We're here for the present, and we're going in the future. Mm-hmm. That's just the facts, And so my thing is, what are you going to do with your time while it's here? Mm-hmm. People run themselves to the ground trying to get rich, chasing the dollar. So, that grind right there, I think 100% is not good for you. You're going to run yourself to the ground. But if you grind for a purpose, if you have a why, if you have a passion, if it's your family, you're grinding for them, I don't think that grind is in vain. Mm-hmm. But here's the issue. People be like, oh, we shouldn't have to do all that. Right. We were in slavery, we were in segregation, they should just give us all money. No, they shouldn't. You want to know why they shouldn't? Because we're going to misuse it.
I'm going to say this. If they did get black people reparations, the stock market would go so up. Bruh, I don't know why we haven't got reparations yet.
We would abuse that money in the wrong way. And I hate to say that. I don't think the black community needs money. I think we need resources in the community. So like you're saying, like, yeah, people building a Starbucks. Yeah, like, why are you putting a Starbucks there? Put some stuff that actually matters. Put a safe community center for kids to go, for kids to learn. Like, that's the type of stuff we need. We need more resources in the community. But we don't need money because we don't know what to do with the money. And so teach us what they say. You give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach him how to fish, he eats for a lifetime. Put those resources in front of us so that we can learn how to be financially literate and learn how to compound our money so that we stop losing to the system. I think that's what has to get done. And so, yes, we do have generational curses, but we choose to use them as a crutch. And it's up to you to determine whether or not you're going to stop allowing it to be a crutch. And it's beyond the money. I know money's a big thing because of poverty and things like that. And I don't want anybody to think that, oh, I'm coming from a good situation. Like, I get it. Like, the struggle is real. Like, I understand that. But I've also seen people come from the struggle and make things happen for themselves. I think one of the biggest generational curses that we're failing to break, though, is the family structure, right? And the family structure from seeing things such as your mom, her mom and dad didn't have a good relationship. And so now that's trickling down. Or everybody in her family abused drugs or abusing drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the type of generational curses that we actually need to break that I feel like are the biggest crutches in the black community.
And what's crazy to me, because I also think, like I hear people talk about generational wealth. I truly think that wealth and even wanting to work hard for money, because as you said, money isn't everything. I truly think that can be a crutch too. Because say for instance, you look at all these symbols of success,
right,
and whatnot. There's no shortage of, you know, a rags to riches Negro to put on TV.
Oh, for sure.
To talk about what black people can achieve. But I truly think, and this isn't like a new concept, because from the beginning of us talking about what we're gonna do to, you know, boost black people's place in America, there's always been an argument. You know what I'm saying? You got Booker T. Washington versus W.E. Du Bois.
Yeah.
You know, but my thing with, like, the way black people look at how we're going to escape certain systems is people be like, I got me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no community.
Nobody, like, in all of these cases, like, I truly think, like, you can get rich and come up out of your situation and still leave behind terror, whether it be in your family. Like, we talk all the time, like, you know what I'm saying, Jay-Z will have, like, a whole album, you know what I'm saying, get your credit up, or, you know what I'm saying, buy these art pieces. And while he was very vulnerable on his album about, you know what I'm saying, his infidelity and whatnot, we seldom ever talk about the real work we need to do. And you hit it on the head with, like, family structure. You know what I'm saying? My parents was cool, and that's why I think relationships not gonna work out.
Yeah. We gotta be willing to let that go.
That's all. When people always talk about, you know what I'm saying, grinding and working hard to get money. Nobody ever talks about grinding and working hard to become emotionally intelligent. They don't talk about grinding and working hard to, you know what I'm saying, spend more time with your kids, to have more grace with the people in your life. People don't talk about, you know, let me work hard to really understand my kids. Yeah. And that's why you have so many, like, kids acting out. Because, like, of course, some of these folks do be wilding. Yeah. But I just look at situations of, like, people just not caring about what their kids do. Oh, like a lot of situations, they just care, you know what I'm saying, what them grades look like. Yeah. And your teacher better not call me.
But they not seeing what they doing when they not around.
Like,
yeah. And I think we don't teach the how. It's like, work hard, grind. Because I don't even think money. Because how do I do it?
I feel like the money comes. Like,
100%. The money comes.
As we become better and more ethical as a people, the money come. But when we look at, say, for instance, I'm just trying to think of some rich white black people. When we look at the Oprahs, or we look at the LeBrons and whatnot, like, people talk about how hard LeBron works at the gym, but people seldom talk about how hard he works to fortify his mind.
His character.
His character.
His
you know
character, what I'm man. Character.
People don't talk about these things. And I feel like things get lost in translation just because, of course, we live in America and the dollar is everything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, we could do more work just to help our communities, but there's things that are going to be put in. Like, I don't have the facts for it, but I truly believe there has to be something that's keeping Black people from helping their communities. Because
you know what it is? I mean, the answer is easy. Like, I give you the answer right now. It's value. We don't place our values. We place value on the wrong things. Mm-hmm. Our values are messed up. And so until we get our values corrected as a community, we're not going to move in the right direction, because our values, the direction that we're headed in, that's where our values are.
And what do I always talk about? Who are the loudest voices in our community?
The artists, the music industry. And like, I mean, honestly, bro, like, we get money, we spend it on clothes. And we get money, we spend it on an Airbnb in Las Vegas or LA, and we just post a picture on Instagram. Well, you're not living like that. You come back and you going back to your little house that you know what I'm saying? But if we were to take that money that we place in so many other different directions and actually learn how to invest and learn how to build, it's crazy to me. The richest people I always come around, they got on a pair of New Balance. Mm-hmm. They got on a pair of Reebok, some Wrangler jeans, a little Target brand collar shirt, but they sitting on millions and millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. We're so quick to show our money that we don't even have, because we care so much about how we're perceived by other people.
But I feel like we still just like of course it's an American thing, but as Black people, we place too much like emphasis on what you can get. Like, of course, like we have these you know what I'm saying, conversations about what Black people spend their money on. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying, you go get this car, you get this jewelry, and go back and sleep on a twin bed.
And there's nothing wrong with wanting nice things. I want that to be understood. You can have nice things, but make sure, like, my principle is like, if I can't buy it twice, then I don't need to be buying it.
But my thing with that is we talk about investing and whatnot.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, to what end? Like, I mean, what is the end goal? Like, because
that's personal. That depends on your personal legend. Like, if your end goal is to take care of your family, then you're just gonna keep investing until you die. But how much
money do you need to take care of your family?
That's up to you.
But
here's the thing, though.
Low key.
If you go seek out a financial advisor, mm-hmm. they will let you know based on your spending how much money you need. The issue is, though, and this is another generational curse, we don't seek help in the Black community. Like you said, it's that slavery mindset. It's like, I gotta get me, I gotta grind, we don't want to seek help. And until we start preaching that it's okay to go get that help and like okay to use these resources, then we're never gonna know the answers to these questions.
But and this is just where it be getting really tricky for me, because I feel like say for instance when we have these conversations, it always comes back to, you know, the top 10 or top 1%, those conversations, but we seldom ever have conversations just about real, like, we talk about helping the community, but we never talk about what that looks like.
No, 100%.
Helping the community
100%
mean, you know, building a basketball court somewhere, or does helping the community mean I know I have this amount of influence. Let me not act like this, because it's just like we've talked about this
100%.
We've talked about this on multiple episodes about who are the loudest voices in the community, and we can both say that the loudest voices in the community are going to be the rappers and the artists. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we'd be like, that's bumping.
Yeah, you're right. And you're right. Like, every time we give it a play, we're supporting it. But I'm going to keep playing.
But that's so funny, because
I'm going to keep playing it, though. But the thing is, like, I don't know, man. You're 100% right. Like, we talk about helping the community, but we don't talk about what that looks like.
Because I truly, and this just goes back to generational curse, or is it a generational curse, or is it a crutch? I truly feel like we as Black people don't care. I think we say, I want generational wealth to take care of my family, but people just want to be rich.
So
people
here's the thing.
Want money.
The reason I know that we don't care about that is because we don't move in the direction to get that. Mm-hmm. And so I don't even entertain it, right? Mm-hmm. If you say you want something and your behavior and your morals and stuff doesn't align with that, then you don't truly want it. Like, we want handouts. Mm-hmm. The Black community wants handouts. And that's just a fact. And we have to get out of that mindset that, look, nobody's going to give it to us. You got to go take it.
But I say, even now, we're still talking about the bread.
I mean, so for me, I'm not talking about bread. I'm talking about just healthy living.
Because I feel like,
like I just think as a black person, like I'm like as a black person just walking around, it feels like it's a weight on your shoulder. I want that to be lifted off.
I feel that. I hear black people talk about all the time. People want a handout, and people should go get it. And like, of course, we talk about these people who came from rags to riches, but at the end of the day, the 1% of the 10% that fluctuates every day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can look at this one poor black person and say, you can be anything you want to be. And he'll come up one day and he's the president. At the end of the day, his community still has thousands of people, thousands of children, elders, and other things of that nature, and nobody cares. And it's just like, of course.
But you can't save them all, though. That's the thing. You can't save them all.
But you can't save anybody, because we always talk about people want handouts. If I am someone in a terrible situation, why would it be wrong for me to want somebody to help me?
No, there's nothing wrong with people wanting, like, there's nothing wrong with wanting help. Mm-hmm. Let's get down this stuff. But you also have to really want the help. Mm-hmm. So the difference between wanting help and wanting a handout is I give you something and next week you asking me for it again and you haven't changed anything in your life. Mm-hmm. That's a handout. But until we start actually wanting to change the patterns of our behavior, like, okay, I give you $100. Right? Say you take that $100, you spend 90, you save 10. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to give you another $100. You take that 100, this time you spend 80, you save 20. Now you have $30 versus me giving you $100. I come back next week, you ain't got none of it. I give you another $100, I come back and you still ain't got none of it. Mm-hmm. Then all you're doing is spending. Mm-hmm. This is the reason you're in that situation you're in now. But when you actually take the time to change your patterns and change your lifestyle, I think, like, I know you're saying it's about money and wealth when I say go get it. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying go get that change of lifestyle. Mm-hmm. You know, like you don't like the situation you're in that situation because of you. Mm-hmm. Change your mindset, change your habits, change your behavior, and go get that new lifestyle that you desire. Whether that's happiness, and if it's money, that's okay. If it's money that you want, then go get the money. But if you want happiness, go get happiness. If you want better relationship, go get a better relationship. If you want a better upbringing for your kids, go get that. Go set that up. But you have to change your habits if you want that. Don't think you're going to get that living the same way you're living right now. Mm-hmm. That's insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So I'm not supporting that at all. So if you want to change your habits.
But this is my thing. So say you look at like an 18-year-old, he came up from true mud, like he's seen terrible things, just his way of thinking, like people who like really deal with like PTSD and these other things. You can give this young man a job. He can get fired tomorrow.
Right.
He cut somebody out.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You can give him $100. Talk to him tomorrow. Where'd the $100 go? I want to go get something to eat. Yeah. I want to get some food, and I want to get a 3.5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We look at these people in these situations and we say, okay, well, I tried to do this thing to help this person, but I'm still in this system that's hurting this person. Because at the end of the day, while of course we all know that if you live in Collierville, your property taxes, your property value is going to be higher than that of someone who lives in Orange Mound.
Right.
But by that same token, we say, this person made a smart money move because he doesn't have to pay taxes. This person made a smart money move because he put his stuff in a trust fund, so can't nobody touch it. This person making smart money moves because he pays his people this.
Yeah.
This person's making smart money. We just going back into being like, you know, who are the loudest voices. If today you found out Lil Durk was behind, let's say he was shooting somewhere, or somebody's clique was shooting somewhere and they popped somebody, died. You probably feel a certain way about listening to Lil Durk. But Lil Durk ain't kill nobody you know. So it's just like, I'm finna spin this Lil Durk, I'm finna spin this ESG.
You don't care until it affects you. Yeah.
Pooh Shiesty was on Instagram Live, and I probably shouldn't say this like on the pod, but I'll just say it, just because this is stuff to be on my mind. Pooh Shiesty was on, and this is before he got big, this is before Jimmy Fallon. He was on Facebook Live, beefing with, local rapper. I'm not gonna put too many details in there. He say, "Where you at? I ain't never liked you, cuz. We gonna pull up on you." Later that night, cuz we're doing a show. Shots rang off. His baby mama dies.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. So,
but the thing is, of course, It's just allegations. We don't know.
And they made their son allegations.
Don't care. It's the end of the day. It's not that it's just allegations.
That's who they can't wait to see.
It's not that, you can't really prove this. It's not that, what I'm saying, YSL, you shouldn't use these people's lyrics against them.
Yeah.
It's that we don't care.
We don't care. So
look at R. Kelly.
Yeah.
I guarantee you go to a Black Family Reunion,
you're going to
play that Step in the Name of Love. And I ain't going to lie. That Ignition remix be ringing in my head sometimes. Sometimes I be in the crib and I be Mama
this
rolling
is
that body.
Cancel,
but this is
cancel culture. Cancel culture is not
thing.
real.
This is my thing with that. Of course, me and you can lie and say we don't want to hear that R. Kelly like that. We can tell that lie on this podcast. But at the end of the day, there's a little 14-year-old girl right now who didn't see her family for forever, whose family was looking for her, and she was under R. Kelly's, he would call his care.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? We do not care.
Because we continue to play that music.
Because
we continue to support R. Kelly. You're right. We don't care. We don't care.
But not even that, because of course, he's in jail. So, you know what I'm saying, them proceeds not really going to cut. Like, maybe he can get some cigarettes and another pack of noodles, but it's not going to him. So it's not enough to just not listen to him.
Nah, right.
We have to look at this stuff and really think about it.
And dig deep. Where did it go wrong?
People talk about, say, for instance, people talk about rape culture, and they talk about misogyny and things like that. And these things get lost.
They start talking more about, like, women should be able to wear whatever they want to wear. You know what I'm saying?
And that's stupid. That's stupid. Because, you know what I'm saying? It's just like me, you know what I'm saying? If I was in my house with the windows down, with the windows open, blast some music with fancy lights, and I was like, I should be able to enjoy my house without somebody running up and robbing me. And we're not going to have to get into that.
Yeah.
People know that evil people exist and they know these issues, but when they at a set,
they turn a blind eye to it.
And the homie's like, hey, bro, we need to get some more bottles so these girls can really be turned up. They never, no one's ever like, hey, you wildin'. Nobody's ever like, hey, stop doing that.
Because they're not going to fit in if they do that.
They're not going to, but that's the thing. We all, whether unknowingly or unknowingly, and Kendrick Lamar said it in a song, we're all silent killers. We all uphold systems and don't care.
We play a role,
As long as, you know what I'm saying, me and mine's straight.
Good.
Y'all over there, y'all do y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not much I could do to help you. And we always think it comes down to money and putting, you know what I'm saying, like say for instance, because you can be broke and do a lot to help your community.
Yeah. You
can be broke because and I fell out with people like this because like I told you, when you went up north, I was hanging around with straight hood rats or folks that's trying to be hood rats. Yeah. Folks trying to act like they hood. And I remember I was hanging around with some folks, and for some reason, these people were all basketball players and all had seemingly stable situations. You know what I'm saying? Some had kids that they have to take care of, or whether it be singular or plural. And we all in that junk chilling. And of course, it's Memphis, and these people smoke weed all day, so they're like, we want to be rappers. And you know, as soon as somebody to do a rap song, they immediately got this amount of money. They doing this, they doing that, and it was just something that really messed me up that day. And I haven't really talked to any of them since. One dude was in the corner playing with a gun. I'm like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Negroes doing stupid stuff. Of course somebody can die, but who cares? You know what I'm saying? Who cares if someone dies? They were talking, and like his cousin was like a blood, and he was like, hey, we gonna do this music video, and I need you to have like 100 blood dudes with choppers and blah, 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 blah. And something rung in my head. And like, I'm looking at like the NLE Chopper. I'm thinking of the NLE Chopper video. His real name is Bryson. We know him because he played
for our church basketball team.
And he played basketball for Houston and Cordova. We never, of course, we will say that this is bumping, this is that, this is this, but we never really touched that real issue. When because I listen to trap music. I rock with Big 30. I bump this. I listen to this music. But we look at this music and we never do a little extra thinking about it.
Like, what is it really doing?
We uphold these systems and we like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the way to work. I'm not doing nothing. Yeah. I'm just spinning that new whoever, you know what I'm saying? Shoot him, kill him, shoot his mama, shoot up his block, spray the block, kill some children, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? The beat go crazy. And And it's something that gets lost in translation, just in stable people's minds that allows us to keep these systems going. And
we won't break the system.
And I say all that to say we can talk all day about, is it a generational curse or is it a crutch? But at the end of the day, if I see this person walking down the street on crutches, I'm not gonna care about cuz. It's hot outside. I'm not gonna ask him, do he want some water?
Yeah.
He probably in pain.
Because you really
I'm
don't
not gonna
care.
ask if he want to pack a,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, green peas or some ice to put on his ankle. I'm not gonna ask any of that. I'm just gonna walk down the street. But if I talk to cuz, I'm gonna be like, well, are you working that out? You know what I'm saying? I know you on crutches, but are you going through the proper physical therapy? Are you eating like you should? Getting your electrolytes? You know what I'm saying?
I think, you know what I'm saying, to wrap it all up, from what you just said, we've allowed generational curses to turn into a generational system.
We've allowed generation.
We've allowed it to turn into a system because now we really don't care, according to you, we don't care about solving the issue. It's a system that we've created from the curses that, honestly, a lot of those curses, I do think we care. I do think we care. I just don't think those voices are being heard enough, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think we've had these curses that were placed on us. Because I'm not gonna say we created these curses. These curses were put in the community, placed on us as black people. Mm-hmm. But we've now taken these curses and we've created a system, and we support the system. And then we wonder why we're still stuck in the system. Mm-hmm. And so I look at it all as a game, right? So you're saying, yo, you're in Collierville. Why are we worshiping the fact that you don't pay any property tax? And they learn how to play the game. And so in the game, you have three choices. You can play the game, you can change the game, or you can just sit and watch the game. I think too many of us either watch the game or we play the game, but it's not enough of us changing the game. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you have an issue with.
I think it's not enough of us flipping the table over.
I don't think we need to flip the table. It's time to change the game. You got to change the game to where everybody can play. Because right now, everybody can't play the game.
If everybody in here playing Uno, I can sit up here and say you should play Uno this way. This will make more sense. Or I can take the deck of cards and I can throw it.
Okay, so then what do you play?
And that's how we're ending the episode.
Hey, man, look, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. There's a lot of discussion on this one. I think my final thoughts is that there are generational curses, especially in the black community, but I do believe that you have the ability to change that curse, and don't use it as a crutch just to justify the way that you're feeling or your behavior. Truly get out there, try to seek the help, try to get a new opportunity for yourself. And then when you do that and you figure it out, the next part of that is helping other people. It's not enough of that going on in the black community.
I think you niggas on your own, honestly. I think it's up to y'all. You know,
hey man,
we're gonna go. Home. Man. I'm gonna go home and play the game.
Hey, follow the podcast. You know? Follow the podcast, man.
UTR the podcast.
Subscribe, share, like, comment. Let us know what you think, man. It's your boy CK3 The Thrill. Follow me in the social media world.
You know what I'm saying? You know, my is Honorable Tino. I don't even want y'all following me. I don't think I want to.
Hey, we'll holler at y'all, man.
We'll see y'all next week. How about that? Flies in here. Let's go.
Hey, man.